is going to be a very, very special day and different from anything that happened before. Today, I'm going to announce that for the time being, I've run out of things to talk about. I knew that day would come one day, working. It started, this whole enterprise started with kind of nice and silly assumption. Uh, I think I told the story at the very beginning, so I'll tell it again at the end. I'm a member of a consultation group of peers. I love meeting with them every week. I like my colleagues and I like talking about life and cases and politics and whatever it is we feel like talking about with each other. My two colleagues who are here today are members of that group. And something was happening one of those days. So one of our colleagues had a very complicated and confusing case that we started talking about, trying to be of some help to her. And I didn't know which way to turn. And I just sat back and listened. I watched other people suggesting things to her and asking her questions about various parts of her presentation and various things in the client's current status and history. And formulations of things began to form in my mind. And then when everybody else seemed to finish, I said, I have some things to talk about now. And I proceeded. And I don't even remember what the things were, but I knew that I really liked what I was presenting. It seemed quite useful and valuable to me. And I felt a sense of pride that all these things had come together for me in that way. And I made an ironic and half sarcastic remark when I was finished. I said, you know what? I really do know a lot of things. I said, I remember the exact quote. And then I got mournful. As an elderly person, we live all the time with death by our shoulder. And as I said, I really know a lot of things. I was full of the sadness that comes to me when I remember that my life is going to be finite. And that whole stream of consciousness that I was pouring out, all the things I had read that were woven into that, life experiences that helped shape what I was saying to my colleague, all that stuff that is me in my stream of consciousness is going to be snuffed out and it will just pass. And one of the mournful things I've always thought as I began to think about dying much earlier in life was that what is sad about life is you write your name with a finger in a lake, and the turbulence of your finger writing is there for a few seconds and then it's gone forever. And unless you're a Beethoven or an Einstein or some giant person in the consciousness of many cultures, there is no real immortality for us ordinary workaday people. We live on maybe for 50 years after we die. There's some people around who still have some memories of something we may have done or said that seemed important or significant to them. But certainly there's not a long life afterlife span of awareness of one's existence. That just disappears gently at a time. More and more people who once know you will die off themselves. Maybe they've talked to you about other people, maybe not. And I could go on like this for hours, but I get to this place now. I say, what the fuck difference does it make? So what? Why am I even brooding about this? But I have been. So anyhow, on that day when I had made that presentation and dropped that comment that it's all going to get lost, I think it was Aaron who suggested to me it didn't really need to get lost. Why don't you start a YouTube channel? And you say you have lots of things that you don't want to get lost forever. Well, start presenting them. Just start talking about them. So I took up the challenge and I've been doing that. I've been making my way through various kinds of things that I have been invested in, thoughts that I've generated, comments about the profession. One section was a workshop I used to give that I think is very helpful to graduate students. It's about the business of psychology and how if one does not want to work in a clinic but wants to set up an independent practice, what do you need to know and how do you go about doing it, getting it started? So I didn't want that to get lost. Whatever I put up are things that have mattered to me, and I did not want to get lost. I wanted to add it to that store of whatever is my shadow passing across the face of my life. And I have now exhausted those things. I have decided to shift the mode. I don't believe I'm going to be out of things that are important to me I might want to talk about. I just am going to stop having a regular time of doing that because I don't want to have to force myself to go looking for something that really isn't as meaningful to me as if I say, oh my God, look what I'm into now and what I want to talk to other people about. When that happens, I'll come back on again. I'll try and get my two guys here to find time so we can get together again. So I did one thing that I thought I might do. In preparation for today's meeting, I just went and sampled some of the things that I put up there. Listened to 5 or 10 minutes of various ones of those presentations. And I can't say that I'm feeling proudful. What's there is a very ordinary human being blathering. That's what's there on those episodes. I'm talking about a lot of things that matter to me. I don't know if anything I talked about has any meaning or value to anybody else. And I'm asking myself, what difference does it make? I also have a kind of perversity in me. Instead of wanting to be special, I go around, I tell my wife frequently, I tell friends occasionally, I want to die being known as the most ordinary man who ever existed. And so I haven't hid any of my flaws in any of my presentations. I've simply talked about things that were my stupidities and my flaws. This is another thing I'm beginning to doubt. I've had a hope that if I'm willing to do that, if I get on YouTube and talk about things that are egregious about me and stupidities I committed and false ideas I've had at various times, it might encourage other people to live more directly and to honor the shadow parts and the broken parts and the confused parts of themselves as much as bragging about things that they think are wonderful about them. But as I did that too, as I looked at my own clumsiness, my own inarticulateness, my own foolishness about some of the things I was talking about, I did not feel proud that this was going to have any value to anybody. I thought that's just me blathering some more. So I'm stuck with that one now too. Does it really mean anything if I put my vulnerability up there where it can be looked at? Does that have any good effect on the world at all? And now I hear the big words. They've been reverberating in me this week. You don't really matter. Stop trying to matter. I'm gonna cry. You've driven yourself crazy trying to matter. It's a stupid goal. Just live your life. Be who you are and interact with people as they come into your life. There's no immortality in it. It may not ever matter, really. But don't stop doing it until you die. Oh, I got so wounded by my mother. Her life would have been better if I hadn't been born. I've been so driven to matter over and over again to prove that that was wrong. I don't know if I can give that up before I die. I don't think anybody gives out plaques or prizes for being the most ordinary person ever born. That's not an international competition that I know of anywhere. Oh my. So just as I was struggling in the last 3 sessions I put up here about what is going to be the fate of my profession and my fear that it's going to vanish into silence over the years ahead, I have the same fear for myself. I will vanish into silence. And if I can achieve anything in the period left, It's not to have to cry about that anymore. That's one of my daydreams about being able to live a long time. My metaphor is maybe we are like toothpaste tubes. If we squeeze out every last drop of our consciousness, every last drop of ourselves, maybe it's okay to die then. We're empty and we can just be tossed away and it won't matter. So there is one concrete thing in addition to going on in my free associative mode, blathering about whatever occurs to me. There is one concrete thing I promised I would do. I had to talk with my wife and me about that yesterday. I said, I'm going to tell Aaron and Scott that we're going on hiatus, that we will meet again as needed, but not regularly. And I said, how about you up for this? I want to invite those two guys and their significant others, if they choose to bring any, to come out to dinner. And let's have a celebration that we were together. Christ, there's no way I can thank you guys for having showed up each week and allowed me to be here and allowed me to speak and listen to me. Thank you for giving me that gift. And I want to give you a wonderful dinner in return for the gift you've given me. I have no answer. A question occurred to me. What were the most meaningful things you talked about? I have no answer. Nothing occurs to me. The most special thing I talked about was special in a way that is unique to me. The 6 chapters I put up about marriage are very important to me because I've struggled with not finishing books all the years of my life, and that text is there. The person who is transcribing them for me is now working on the 3rd chapter. I will have the manuscript, but I think it's a reasonable book for public consumption. And my task after she finishes with transcribing it is to do a good edit on it, to turn it from something I'm spontaneously talking about like this into a manuscript that is written well and is worth reading. And that's an easy transition for me to go from public lecture to turning it into a set of transcribed words in a book. And I will have lost my non-publishing, non-book finishing virginity at last. Finishing that. Jesus, I better rush too, because at my age, I never know how much longer I have. That's a task that's probably going to take me my discretionary time over about 3 months to get done. So I better get on it just in case I'm not here 3 months from now. I want that to live on. I don't know if it was the best topic to finish a book on, but it's personally an important topic to me. I not only do a lot of work with couples where being interested in how to sustain them and lead them out of darkness towards a better light is very much a matter of my work, but my own marriage always has felt like a work in progress. I see ways that I am not the husband I would like to be. I see ways to challenge myself. I see ways that we could change how we interact with each other. And it's like taking care of some kind of garden, to be responsible for my own marriage. So creating that book was partly a learning experience for me too, as well as to pass on to other people. But I don't know if that was the best and most important work that I've done. I can't pick either what was the stupidest or clunkiest thing I ever did. The sessions I was listening to had a really, I started to say nice balance between idiocy and incompetency and things of some enduring value. If I had a video prompter and editor, I could certainly turn every one of those episodes into something that would have been far more worth watching and listening to than what wound up being posted up for consumption. The imperfection of human lives. All right. A mantra came to me. Huh. What is the secret of life? What is the meaning of life? And the mantra that occurred is grant yourself the right to be. I don't even know what that means for sure. But it feels very significant and important. Grant yourself the right to be. Oh, what occurs to me when I say those words is I think most of the human race is trying to put on a disguise of who they are. And if they're not putting on a disguise about who they are, then they're striving to become something other than what they are at the moment. They have to become somebody else or something else. They're incomplete. And there's no, all right, I'm on a roll. There is no completeness. We are at this moment. And we are like a tapestry that's woven at this moment in certain configurations. Uh, we are going to be different 10 years from now, and the tapestry will feel different. There is no who we are. Who we are is a work in progress constantly if we do the work. Now I have another mantra. Don't be afraid of other people. Spoken by somebody who's been shy all his life. Yes, I am in the wonderful profession. I get a chance to be intimate with lots of people without really much involvement with them. It's a delicious career for shy people. Mm. Oh, more tears. I have if there's any kind of memorial service for me, which there probably will be, I have an insane curiosity to know who will be there and to listen to what will be said. Uh, oh, do I want to go there? Oh no, I'll just acknowledge it exists. One of the significant moments of work I did with a client who had become quite suicidal was behind her back. I'd probably get in trouble with the board of psychology for this. I had contact information. I knew where her children were. They were teenagers. They were living with their father. I had his phone number and how to get in touch with him. And I knew the names of a couple friends that she had who seemed to be important to her. So I got in touch with those people. The children were helpful in providing the contact information for the female friend she had, and the husband was available. And they had a fairly civil divorce relationship. He was not the cause of her wanting to kill herself. So I asked them, I said, she is becoming quite suicidal. I don't know if I can do much about it, really. She seems hell bent on outwitting me, and I could use some help. Could I do something? I've never tried this, but I think it might be worthwhile getting into. Could we hold her memorial service in my office? I want to surprise her. I want all of you to be present, all five of you, and I want to honor her. I'm going to write a eulogy. I've been forming it in my mind about how I can honor her very, very pain and tormented life, even with all the deprivation she went through and the abuse she had to put up with. She was a very special person. I'm already talking about it in the past tense, and I want to do honor to her courage, her valiant way she raised her children, and how she picked herself up out of degradation. That needs to be honored. And I would like her to hear that this is how she has affected at least one other human being. I don't know what you people would say, but I will certainly give each one of you a chance to say what that woman might have meant to you. And we'll treat her as if she's dead. She can sit in the room and listen. She can have a gift, and I don't know if any other human being has ever had to listen to their funeral after they're dead. So she's going to show up. I want you to be there. I'm going to take her in the waiting room, and then I'm just going to tell her, please sit down. These people have been important parts of your life. They're here now. You want to kill yourself, so I want to give you a gift. I want you to hear what's going to be said about you after you're dead. So just please sit quiet. And that thing I did turned her life a lot around. She did not die. So I'm glad I did that. And I'm envious of her. She had a chance to hear what 5 very important people in her life had to say about her after she was dead. I'm not going to get that opportunity. Well, that leads to another mantra for life. Tell people what they mean to you while they're still alive. I think we forget to do that too much. I certainly am a strange person. I, I was sitting here trying to construct what food I think should be served at my memorial service, even though I won't get a chance to eat any of it. And for some reason, it should be at least one thing that has poppy seeds in it. Not sure what my connection with poppy seeds is. Oh, that was one of the nice moments I used to have with my mother. She actually made strudel. She would roll the dough out on a kitchen table and hang it up over a chair and roll it some more and make it paper thin. And she would often fill the strudel she made with poppy seed mixture, poppy seeds and prunes and sugar, and I forgot what else were mixed into that. It was really delicious. So I got hooked on poppy seeds. All right, I think I'm done. The floor is open.
This is a bit of a surprise. I wasn't expecting this.
No, neither was I. I thought we'd go on at least for another 10 years or so.
Yeah, we're only episode I think this would be 92 or 93, but we've
That's
been what's it?
I'm pretty sure there are going to be more episodes.
Yeah,
Something's going to get to me that I want to talk about to pass on.
yeah. So that makes sense. I think we've been doing this now for a little over 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
think
know
Yeah.
one thing I'll certainly be back about. I'm still into my death and dying mode. If I'm given a terminal diagnosis, I'm certainly going to want to talk about how I'm trying to handle it and what I'm going through as a result of being pulled back.
Mhm.
I just thought of a kind of a great idea, but I guess, Aaron, you're going to have to take responsibility. maybe we should do a tribute to you, Arthur, and
Mhm.
before you die, we can serve some foods that you like, at the tribute, and talk about
Oh,
you and what you've done and what you mean to people, and you could hear that, and you don't have to be dead.
You don't have to be dead. Well, there'd be a problem if you tried that.
What?
Isn't it obvious? I probably couldn't stop crying.
mm.
It's okay. Probably not the first time. As you were talking, Arthur, I was thinking kind of like, that um, I think I'm a pretty good psychologist for the most part. I
Oh,
was
glad
busy.
to that.
I was busy yesterday and today, and I will continue to practice. I don't know how many years, 20, 30 years.
I hope so.
You're a good, if not great, role model in terms of kind of practicing, until you can't. And I was talking today to a mother of a very troubled adolescent in my office. And yesterday I saw a couple, and I used a concept that you've always sort of like utilized in terms of like keeping people company,
Yeah,
being with them, and kind of like keeping them company. And I used that concept in terms of describing how she could keep her husband company when he wasn't feeling well. And
yeah.
so I guess um, I want to say that I've learned a great deal from you, and I treasure you
Thank you.
and always will.
No, because you're going to die too.
Hey,
You're
hey,
not always
I'm
going
gonna,
to do
I'm gonna
anything.
cheat death and live forever, so you don't have to worry about it. Well, I think with the 90 some hours we've got, I can upload you into an AI eventually, and there'll always be an AI Arthur for people to talk to. I know that's already happening. I know one futurist uploaded his dad's books into an AI already, and he can have conversations with his father that are pretty good, just based on books he wrote.
Now that doesn't, well, it's comforting in some way, but I love being alive. I really do. I love having a consciousness that flows, and I love being alive. And if I could be transformed into a robot of some kind, and my whole consciousness downloaded and put in there, unless part of what could be done magically would be the same sense of continuity. This is really me. My body lives inside. And that could happen. I might enjoy that.
Yeah, like a true transfer over. Sure, that would be something. Well, you've had a huge impact on me. I think you know that. It's funny. I feel guilty in sessions. I always have to give you credit when I talk to my clients.
Oh, God.
Sometimes I don't feel like I deserve the wisdom of about to get out there and give to people. So I'll say, I have this mentor Arthur, and he's always said,
Is that 30% of your fee?
yeah, yeah, should be big. Yeah, I'll kick it over there.
That's funny. When I go visit, as you guys make those kinds of comments, I I had mentors who were very important to me, and I was really taken with what they had to say and how they put things together and how they construed things. Somewhere, I think, in my 40s, maybe my later 40s, I began to see that I could not be and should not even try to be a junior version of them. And I also saw that some of their feet were made out of clay. And all of this was quite frightening. It felt like I had to somehow show up bringing myself with me. And that was all I had to depend upon. And I felt naked and frightened. But that was a really good, very important turning point. There are no gurus out there. There are people professing that they are. Don't trust them and don't pay any attention to them.
What was that Sheldon Kopp's book? If you meet
If
the
you meet
Buddha on
Buddha
the
on the
road.
road, kill him.
Yeah.
I think that's well spoken about in true Buddhist teaching that when Buddha had somebody come up saying, "You have such a peaceful and enlightened life, could you teach me how to do that?" He would tell them to get away from him. He
Yeah.
has nothing to say. They need to discover what they need to discover for themselves.
Yeah.
So the real Buddha was not what Sheldon Kopp was writing about. Somebody who loved having followers.
Yeah. Well, I'm quite proud of all these episodes. I don't find them clunky or anything. I think they really have covered a breadth of topics and emotions and really deep and meaningful things. So yeah, I'm very proud of them.
Thank you.
For me, it was a joy to be part of. It really was. I, appreciated the ride.
Mhm.
I don't think if it wasn't for COVID, I don't think we could have done this,
Yeah,
the ability to jump on here and figure out all the ways of recording and.
that's that wonderful saying that in every storm there's a silver lining.
Yeah.
That's part of it. Well, I'll just do some general complaining about being alive at this moment in U.S. history. There seems to be plenty of storms going on everywhere, but it's hard for me to see much silver linings in any of them. Oh, I talked in our group yesterday about the client I have who's a Persian Jew who feels so tormented and aroused by the protesting of the people on the streets of Tehran right now, and the other Iranian cities. Feels so drawn into them. I'm feeling a very similar thing, only in a negative sense. I watch news too much, probably. I should probably tune out more and not upset myself. But I listen to commentary, watch news, see what's happening around the world. And I am frightened and saddened very much by the strong rise of raw anti-Semitism again, with treating Jews as the ultimate enemy of all people. Talking envy in an envying fashion about the project that it was set out to do, to exterminate the Jews on the continent of Europe. I was born in the height of the Depression, and anti-Semitism was raging in this country then. I was beaten many times for being a Jewish kid. And it feels sad to me that I go into the final stage of my life and I'm back in the hot rising of anti-Semitism in the country. And I'm jealous. The hatred of blacks, of Latinos, of Asians, of all kinds of people are being excoriated everywhere, and there's a pushback and coming. But nobody seems to care if the hatred of the Jews is flowing again. They're not protests in the street about anti-Semitic acts or behaviors. Oh, my mind is very active. I saw in the paper yesterday, Stanford University has apologized to people of the Jewish faith. because during the 50s and 60s, they didn't allow as many Jews who were qualified and ranked very highly for admission as they could have. They threw them away in favor of non-Jewish people. They discriminated very consciously against Jews.
Wow.
And I don't even like being a Jew. There are many things about being Jewish I like, but I don't like the religion. Religion is barbaric in many ways, stupid. I don't know why rabbis would have a dispute if you open the refrigerator on the Sabbath. Are you doing work because a light goes on? Somehow those issues do not appeal to me as worthy of human contentiousness.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a perfect note to end on. Am I the only one that's seen Krapp's last tape?
I think so.
A James Joyce one-act play.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's a very simple play. When the curtain goes up, the stage is bare. You can see the bricks on the back of it. Curtains are just there. All that's there is there's a scruffy wooden table in the middle of the stage, and there's a naked light bulb hanging down, and it's off. There's a little bit of ambient light around. And so Krapp is the hero, the protagonist. He comes in from off stage, side stage, and he's carrying something that he puts down on the table. He reaches up and turns the light on, so now you can see him fully. And he has a banana with him. He peels the banana and takes a few bites out of it, and then he pushes a button. It's a tape recorder that he brought. And you hear him say, I forgot where he starts. Here I am, Richard Krapp. I'm just turned 24 years old, and I know what I should be doing with my life. And he gives this recitative about what the meaning of life is and how he's found his purpose, and he knows what to do now, and he's going to devote his energies differently. And Krapp, the guy who's now getting on towards his older years, is sitting there just shaking his head in disbelief that he's listening to idiocy from such a young man. And then he fast forwards, he goes to somewhere else and listens to something else. And he never says a word. He just plays fragments of the consciousness of the character he was at various ages. And he goes randomly from older age to younger age. And each time he does that, you see the longing of the person who's talking and also the stupidity of how he's going about trying to get where he wants to go. And this goes on for 1 hour. And then he reaches up, turns off the light, takes the banana skin and the tape recorder, and walks off the stage. The character himself says nothing, the live human character. Everything there is to be said is on the tape recording. So I feel a little bit like that. I'm like, crap, I put all that stuff in the recordings on the episodes we recorded, and all of it is nonsense. Okay, on that note, I think I'll say goodbye today. Thank you for your kind words, and
Yeah.
let me know if you're up for going out to dinner.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, all right, well, we'll pick a time somewhere, some weeks from now, so we don't.
Yeah.
Can I bring my wife?
Yes, of course, I said significant
That's
other. I
right,
don't
yes.
know if Aaron wanted to bring a girlfriend or not.
Okay.
I'll scare one up if I can.
You'll scare one up. How about amusing her up instead of
Well,
scaring her?
yeah.
How about the usual suspects?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the real possibility.
I like the person you brought to my birthday party.
Yeah, she's a very nice person.
She's still around?
Oh yeah, she lives in my building.
Oh, I guess she's pretty close around.
Yeah.
All right, have a good evening.
Okay. You too. Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Mm,